Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Longtime viewers of the channel will know that I prioritize authenticity on this channel, and that is going to be no different in today's video. Have to be honest, Delta Force Season 2, after playing it for a couple days now, I see it as a pretty much direct downgrade to Delta Force as a whole, and I'll be getting into why. I'm kind of frustrated. I could have made this video sooner, but unfortunately, I was struck with a very nasty case of random food poisoning. Yes, it was very awesome. I was dry heaving for like 2 days. So, well, we're back in business. Your boy's back, and I'm here to tell you that this game's pissing me off. So without further ado, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's start talking about the individual aspects of Season 2 that I just feel are really not that great. First of all, we will start off with the maps that have been added to the game. Now, keep in mind, I don't really play Operations. You Operations players are going to have to let me know about the Operations map they added to the game. But for the Warfare maps, Knife Edge and Trainwreck, yeah, let's just say you can call Trainwreck a train wreck. And Knife's Edge is potentially one of the worst maps in the game. That map is a pure maze. I don't find it to be enjoyable to play at all. My first impressions were that it was very confusing. And guess what? My second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth impression is that it is still extremely confusing, and I don't really find that necessarily enjoyable to play. I will admit Trainwreck does seem to be a significantly better map than Knife's Edge, but I wouldn't consider it to be anything outstanding. It's maybe a 5 or 6 out of 10 map. The first sector can be really frustrating to hold. A lot of people say that it feels impossible to defend, which I would agree, because the attackers get the full reign of, I believe, about a 250 meter wide deployment area, so they can flank all the way around the point, and it's very difficult to actually prevent that. Now, before I get too far into the video, I do have to emphasize the matchmaking of Delta Force, and I'm fully aware this is not a Season 2 specific thing, but it is by far, in my opinion, the most important thing relating to Havoc Warfare, and I'm just gonna not even cut corners here, guys. I think they're blatantly and very obviously lying to us about matchmaking. I am not happy with it at all. First thing I want to point out is I am still consistently on a daily basis getting put into Eastern and Western European servers as a solo queue North American player. I go to queue up a game, I get put in a 120 to 170 ping server, and I don't think I need to elaborate here, but that is obviously not enjoyable, and I refuse to play it. So it ends up wasting my time as I have to leave these games. And just so you guys understand what the experience is like, here's a wonderful clip. Reminds me of BF4 Xbox on launch. That's funny. Okay, someone clip this, please. Somebody please clip this. This is the current matchmaking experience in Delta Force. I matchmake the game as a North American player, and the shitty matchmaking puts me in an unplayable, laggy European server. On top of these ridiculously high ping servers that I should not be getting placed in under any circumstances whatsoever, I must point out that I believe the menu for matchmaking is either bugged or they're lying to us in this way again. If you notice at the top of your screen, whenever you're queuing for Havoc Warfare, it will very frequently say, queuing for matchmaking 63 out of 64 players, but then, very curiously, you load into the server and there are barely any people in the server. I have documented this multiple times over the course of a few days, and I have loaded into servers where it said there were 64 players, but actually, the server was 8v8, or 12v12, or 13 versus 14. So either this number doesn't actually reflect the accurate amount of players, or they're once again lying to us. And you may ask, well, Enders, why would they do such a thing? Why would they mask the amount of players being loaded into your server? Well, the answer is very simple. I think the entire goal here with the matchmaking of the game is to make you think one thing while they do another thing. Delta Force has stated multiple times, apparently, that there is no skill-based matchmaking, and specifically they've mentioned there is no skill-based matchmaking that forces a 50% win rate. Well, isn't this interesting? Because I asked my viewers today, just out of the blue, hey guys, post your win rates from last season in the Discord, and lo and behold, what do we have here? 48% win rate, 51%, 56%, 49%, 40%, 58%, but if you take a look here, he's a vehicle player, so you can expect his win rate to be higher as a result. 46%, and what do we have, 59%? Again, he's a vehicle player. So as you can see, guys, very suspicious how they say there's no skill-based matchmaking in the game, and there's no skill-based matchmaking that forces 50% win rate, and then I randomly ask my viewers to post their win rates, and they're all near 50%. Isn't that just very strange? Also, allow me to pose a very simple question. If this game doesn't have skill-based matchmaking, why does it play nothing like Battlefield? Just a very simple question, because I, for one, have probably over a decade of experience in Battlefield. I would say at a really high level, I have 6.5 years of experience playing Battlefield games every single day, and I would put my entire reputation, I would put everything that I own on saying that the way Delta Force Havoc Warfare plays is not in any way, shape, or form comparable to how a normal game of Battlefield plays. There are just very obvious differences, and it all points to one thing. Delta Force Havoc Warfare has skill-based matchmaking. It acts like it. There is basically proof of it at this point with the win rates that I just showed you. And past the win rates, the lobbies are just proof in and of themselves, because the lobbies that I play in are extremely sweaty and tournament-like, and it is pretty insane. Just a little more information on the win rates. You saw that in the Delta Force win rates that I just showed you, a lot of it is hovering around 50%, with some outliers being vehicle players hovering just below 60%. A lot of those players were solo players, and if you are a really good solo player in Battlefield, you can expect an at least 60% win rate, if not higher. My personal win rate in Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 2042 is hovering somewhere around 75 to 78%. Now, I will admit I am probably an outlier. I am considered to be a very, very good Battlefield player, so I can brute force some wins. However, the win rates being consistently near 50% is extremely suspicious for Delta Force. There should absolutely be more variation. So that's my little tirade on how they are 100,000 million% absolutely lying about their matchmaking in Havoc Warfare. I really don't care at this point. I'm just going to say it. I don't care if you agree with me or not. I'm just calling it how I see it, okay? Simple as that. Now, let's talk about more things in Season 2. The weapons. So the weapons they added are just kind of terrible. Like, first of all, the LMG is only unlockable in Operations. So let's say you don't play Operations. You then have to play a game mode you don't play just to unlock a weapon that you want to use in Havoc Warfare. The SMG has like 3 times the recoil of some ARs for some reason. It's really not that great, very underwhelming. And the Marksman Rifle is quite literally worthless. It is statistically worse than a lot of Marksman Rifles that are already in the game, and it essentially serves no purpose. Speaking of things that serve absolutely no purpose, Delta Force has made extremely strange changes when it comes to the operators. For whatever reason, they buffed Luna. I mean, everyone was asking for Luna to be nerfed, and then they buff her with no nerfs. It makes a total of 0 sense. And to make matters even worse, apparently they buffed the shield operator. Now, I will admit, in Havoc Warfare, he isn't really a force to be reckoned with. However, if there are a ton of him, he can definitely be very, very irritating in CQC maps. I do think the shield operator is going to be a massive, massive irritation in the operations mode, considering his incredible 1v1 power as a character. I understand that there are certain things you can do to counter him. However, I think if the shield player is particularly good, he will simply time his use of the shield and grapple hook very well, and there's very little things you can do about it. Shifting gears to a completely different topic, this has to do with some of the changes they made to the weapon stats on the weapons themselves, particularly stability. For whatever reason, they removed stability's effect on the flinch multiplier. So what they did is they essentially just buffed flinch in this patch. And I'm not sure about you guys, but flinch in video games has always felt like shit to me, and I'm not really sure why you would want to force there to be more flinch in your game in every single gunfight. It's very confusing. And they absolutely could have reduced the effectiveness of stability without actually removing stability's effect on the weapon flinch. They could have just made it, reduce it less. Like, let's say you add 10 stability to your weapon. Okay, maybe cut its effectiveness in half. Oh wait, they already did that. But they completely removed the effectiveness of stability on the flinch multiplier. So yeah, Season 2, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta be honest, Not happy about it. I think they're dropping the ball majorly. Don't really understand what they're doing. I hope to see them bounce back in some way, shape, or form. I would love to see them come forward and be transparent about their matchmaking, because anyone with a brain that has played Battlefield and that has played Delta Force's Havoc Warfare can tell that there is something fishy going on here. Where there is smoke, there is fire, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why Delta Force's Havoc Warfare mode feels like there's SPMM in it is because there's probably skill-based matchmaking, and as I showed you in this video, there are many signs that point towards that as well. And the final thing I will cap this video off with is, for whatever reason, Season 2's update has caused me to lose about 20 to 25% of my frame rate. Some people pointed out that because I got a new computer before Season 2, I was touching even 500 FPS in some of my clips. My FPS was so high, people were literally commenting about it. Think about that. Now you look at my frame rate in this video, and I'm barely touching 360, 340, even dropping to 250 in some areas. Now, some people are going to say, oh, boo-hoo, Ender's only 240 FPS. Yeah, well, here's the thing. I used to get 500 FPS. Where the fuck are my frames? I want my frames back, okay? I want my frames back that I had before. Why are they gone for no reason? And please, comment down below, did you also lose FPS because of this update? Because it's not an insignificant FPS loss. Like, if it was 25 FPS or like 10 FPS, I wouldn't care. But it's like over 100 frames per second. At least on my computer. And the reason why that matters is, even though I may not be able to see all that FPS via my monitor, it's still lower input latency. Like, the game still feels better if I'm getting more FPS. So definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below about the performance after Season 2. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and swing by the Twitch streams, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you asking about the Season 6 weapon builds, I obviously have been down and out for the count with the food poisoning for the past like 36 hours. I was planning on making some of those videos. I will try to bang them out as soon as I possibly can. So definitely turn notifications on for the YouTube channel if you want to stay up to date with all the weapon builds, particularly for the new weapons, as I will be covering those as well. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate your continued support, and I will see you guys in the next YouTube video and maybe even the next stream. Goodbye.